Hello. Today I'm going to take you on a very particular trip. It's going to be a wild ride through my Chrome tabs. I decided to do a spring cleaning and to maybe look through the tabs that I've had open since 1984. No, I think that probably the oldest tab that I have open is about, I don't know, it will be a wild guess, but at least 1 year old. I use the Quick Capture app to capture this video on my tablet because this is the Chrome. These are Chrome tabs, all the Chrome tabs open on my tablet. And I hardly ever close them because maybe that's not true. I do close them. Maybe I close even more than half of them. But very often I leave them open because I think maybe I will get back to it, and I hardly ever do. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go back to all of them and see what the heck I was looking at throughout the last year and a half or so. And there's really a lot of it. Due to some technical issues that I've had while recording this video and transferring it from my tablet to my computer, I won't be able to show you the chronological order of me opening these tabs, but I made sure to show you all of them without hiding anything. So here we are. So the first tab that you're seeing is my Google search, Book of Chants, Veda, or Book of Vedic Chants. And I don't remember at all what it was about. So let's have a look.
These age-old techniques are based on specific speech combinations and tonal accents, which are unique ways of pronouncing each letter. In order to memorize the vast corpus of Vedic chants, the ancient prophets put together techniques for recitation by using extremely precise combinations of sounds. There are 8 models of pronunciation for Vedic chants. Here is one of them, Jatapata. 2 words repeated the right way round and then backwards.
Fascinating, isn't it? Wow, I remember what it was about. I even got the book, The Art of Vedic Chanting, a handbook for students and teachers by Howard Crosthwaite. And let's have a look at the first paragraph of the first chapter, which is called Sound. After taking its first inhalation as it emerges from its mother's womb, the first thing that a baby does is to make a sound. It yells. So making a sound is the most natural thing in the world to do. And yet, when we think first about the subject of sound, we tend to associate it with something we hear rather than something we make. We associate it with the ear rather than the mouth. Okay, so we can close the tab, but I will definitely go back to the subject of Vedic chanting. It's really fascinating. Okay, moving on. The next tab, what do we have? It's another Google search on Plum Village Book of Chants. I was clearly interested in the topic of chanting. All right, what's next? Oh, philosophize this. This is a really awesome podcast on philosophy. And here we have episode 159, that I didn't want to close because it's about the creation of meaning, probably the most important task of our lives. And this particular episode is on Nietzsche and Amor Fati, which means love your fate. Love it. I was thinking about it today. About this constant, almost constant dissatisfaction. And it's clearly visible even in probably most of those tabs. This relentless pursuit of something, of a remedy, of a relief, of like, I'm not good, I'm not satisfied, I'm not happy, I suffer, I want to change it, I want something else, I want better, I want more. And this is not what Nietzsche suggests we should do. He suggests we should be happy with what is and what we have. But I'm totally simplifying this, but this concept, which is also present in at least in one Polish proverb, but probably in other languages, it's like, old folk wisdom, piece of wisdom. Just like what you have, and instantly you will be satisfied. So why is it so difficult? Probably, I think partly it may have to do with capitalism and this enormous industry of marketing, which is producing desires and needs that otherwise would not exist. I would not desire a guitar pedal if it wasn't for marketing and for capitalism. So basically, capitalism, on one hand, creates the idea of happiness and satisfaction, and on the other hand, is also responsible for making sure that we never get that, because that would kill economy. and it's crazy. Perhaps one day I will talk specifically about this concept, about amor fati and satisfaction and insatiable appetite for something better. But now let's move on to the next tab. What do we have here? 12 ways to show yourself respect and teach others to do the same. Awesome. Awesome topic. So the word respect is the word of the year 2022 for me. So let's have a look at how to do that. So number 1 is figure out what makes you respect yourself. And I prepared a list of things, ideas, behaviors, probably, mostly behaviors, but also attitudes that make me respect myself, or at least help me be a little more respectful, or in the very least be a little less contemptuous towards myself, because I struggle with that. It's for a reason that I chose respect as the word of the year 2022. I haven't been taught how to respect myself, so I have to do it myself. So, on my list, I have keeping promises and following through with my plans and projects, like this one. I really enjoy this feeling, and I'm sure you know that feeling of following through with your plans. Like you set on doing something and then you do it and it's like, yeah, it's the best feeling. And then on my list, not pretending that I like someone or that I enjoy something out of politeness or in order to obtain some benefit. I used to do it a lot out of politeness, and I would even say out of fear of rejection, out of fear of standing out of the crowd or just being impolite or rude. And that's a huge part of probably assertiveness. Yeah, I guess that could be described as assertiveness. And very, very closely related with that point is knowing what I like and what I truly enjoy, because only then I can say, yeah, I want to do that, or no, I don't want to do that. And the next point on my list is taking care of myself, which is not such an easy and obvious thing to do. Maybe it's obvious, but not easy for me. Getting educated, that's easier. I like educating myself, even though it could be a lot more systematic, but well, it is what it is. Next thing that helps me gain more respect for myself is being aware of my triggers in order to avoid reactivity. And then it's connected with the next point, which is it's a little bit descriptive. So I admire dignity, and maybe it's not necessarily the best quality of character of all qualities, but it surely is very impressive. I find it very impressive. So whenever I manage to act in a dignified manner, I feel very proud of myself and I gain respect for myself. Next is the ability to look shame in the eye, to face my shame, my shameful feelings and accompanying thoughts. It's like, and then the ability to offer some compassion in those moments when you look at those things that you're not proud of, and then say, well, I'm sorry that it happened. Then developing healthy habits, or, which is more feasible in my case, quitting unhealthy habits. And then the next one, and the last one, is whenever I manage to offer some compassion to my tormented soul and to my fellow human beings, it helps me respect myself. Or, in the very least, it helps me quit feeling contemptuous, because we are all in it together and we all suffer. So this was number 1, and number 2 is be honest about who you are and who you aren't. Yes, and I mentioned that in the previous point, because it absolutely is very important. If you want to, or if I want to respect myself, I need to know who I am, what I stand for, what I value, what I like, what I enjoy, and what I don't like, and what I don't enjoy, and what I don't accept, and what I will not absolutely accept, and what are my deal breakers. One of the important lessons that I've learned in the recent years is lessons, maybe skills, is the ability to quit or say no. Sometimes, we feel obliged to participate in something because it feels like we've made a commitment. But if I realize that it's not what I want to do, I have learned that I have the right and absolute commitment to myself to say, no, thank you, I don't want to do that anymore. Number 3, respect yourself by taking action around things that excite you. I suppose this is part of self-care and a part of knowing who you are. So it's like a natural consequence of those commitments and behaviors. Sure, I would even say really taking action is already an important step towards showing respect. For me, extremely difficult. I'm good at rationalizing, theorizing, imagining, speculating, analyzing. I mean, I can put 100% of my energy that I would have otherwise burned in my muscles into my brain muscle and just burn it there with no particular tangible result. Yeah, this is absolutely great piece of advice for me because I'm a total avoider. I avoid even things that are exciting, that might be exciting. And I definitely avoid all sorts of things that are scary one way or another. So I'm actually very fearful. Yeah, I'm really good at putting up this act that I'm sort of, I don't know, at least I think I know I want to do it. I try to do it. I want to appear as someone who is courageous. Yeah, I would love to be courageous, but I'm not. So yeah, baby, you just gotta take action. Take more action. Take more action. We'll see. We'll do. Next, number 4 is stop trying so hard to be normal. Again, this is for me. Oh God. Even though I really don't live a normal life, I can totally assure you that it's been always my very strong motivation, conscious or unconscious, to fit in. It's strange because very often I manifest some rebellious behaviors, but I know that deep inside I want to fit in, and it's not like true desire. My soul does not desire that. It's like compulsion, you know. I need to fit in because it's like an animal instinct, like the sheep instinct. I need to adhere to the herd because if I part my ways, I will get lost. I will die. So yeah, there is this. It's difficult to override. I've been trying to do that. I'm getting some really, really mixed results. I don't know. But hold on. What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to fit in or are you trying to stand out? And it's probably maybe this is like at the core of my problems because I can't decide. Do I want to fit in or do I want to go my way? Of course, I would like to do it my way, but it takes a lot of courage and I'm too fearful for that. So if I'm a little fearful sheep, what options do I have? I have to adhere. I have to fit in. So I try to fit in, but I can't because oh, that's a whole other story. Why I can't. It's not totally just my choice that I can't fit in, but I don't want to go into that. So, yeah. What was I talking about? What was that point about? Oh, it was about giving up on normalcy. But we all want that, don't we? Or maybe we don't. We hate that. I don't know. How about you guys? Do you want to be normal? Or do you want to be weirdos? So I had a coffee break and a revelation. I realized that this dichotomy between fitting in and standing out is a false dichotomy. And that's why the confusion. That's why I don't know which way I want to go, because this is not how it needs to be presented in my case. And I'm just being fucking honest, totally, here, because the real struggle is somewhere else. And here, there is no confusion, because what I want is success. I'm realizing it right now, and I'm not happy about this realization. I'm not proud of it. Although perhaps I could. I mean, what's wrong with desiring success? Yeah, I don't know. You tell me, what is wrong with desiring worldly success? Probably nothing, except for one thing, that it's worldly and it's measurable. And if you aim for that, you know pretty well that you missed, that you failed. And then you feel like a failure for the fucking rest of your life. And that sucks. So I guess I would prefer to be stuck in the dichotomy between, do I want to be normal or do I want to be a weirdo? But if you aim for success, and I never looked at it closely, but if I drilled into that concept of typical worldly success, I might get there. Maybe I'll try to do it. Because I'm ashamed of that. I like to think of myself as this. I'm above that, I'm floating 2 inches above the ground, this spiritually uplifted person with just transcendental ideas. And I think it's all, I don't know. There have been times in my life when I really, really felt that deep down, almost to my bones. But those are just, periods, moments and periods, and usually not very long lasting. And then I come back to this base level unsatisfaction with my life, because deep down I desire fame, riches, beauty, admiration, being, it's like, on one hand, it's like, disgusting, and on the other hand, it's like, oh God, I would love that. I have maybe not the whole world, but half of the world just admiring me, desiring me, and paying me to, I don't know, to do something, whatever it is. Usually I'm I think about show business because those people are most visible and most admired, and because I'm a woman, there's this shallow part of me that would love to be admired for my beauty. Like, it's so stunning, like it would be so stunning that, like, oh God. It makes me blah, almost like it's so repulsive to realize that about yourself. That's not, I don't want to be that person. It's like, and I am that person. Oh God, what am I going to do? I didn't want to realize that about myself. I prefer to, oh God. Now I almost feel like crying because it's a perfect example of, not example, a perfect manifestation for me of the fact that there is no free will. There is no absolutely free will. I cannot stop and choose what I want, what I want to. It's like it's been somehow imprinted in me. Maybe not in my genes, but somehow through my upbringing and the fact that I was. It's a reaction to actually being this very lonely, lost, abandoned, neglected child. It's probably, I mean, not, I wouldn't say that all people that become superstar, film stars, pop stars, come from this kind of background, but perhaps many do. I didn't choose to feel that way. I didn't choose, and even realizing that, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel that and to have that core belief. And there is no fucking way to just override that. How could I? It's like engraved on every, it's not just on every cell. It's like now it's my DNA. Wow, so at this rate, it'll take me about 12 hours to go through all these tabs, but hey, this is spring cleaning, and we have to do that. We have to go through all this shit. And I will just read the remaining points. I promise I won't go off on a tangent anymore. Going through this tab, we will finish it quickly and move on to the next one. So I had to take another break and have something to eat, and now we will have company because my neighbor's dog is making a lot of noise, as you will surely hear in a moment. Oh, and just to remind you, the article under this tab, because it's been so long ago that it was mentioned, is about respect and self-respect. So the next point on this list is saying no. For example, I am currently, right now, saying no to the very strong urge to go and harm that dog. And I'm saying no to that. Number 7, choose a partner who respects you. Yes, that's a very good point. The problem is that we don't really have a lot of models on which we could base the respect for a partner. Even the idea of partnership is still foreign to I think a vast majority of men. They may claim that they would like partnership, but I don't think they really do. Number 8, let whatever you get done today be enough. Let me read this one because it sounds just too good to be true. So, show self respect means not being overly self critical, judgmental, or restrictive. It's so easy to chain ourselves to a to do list. What is a to do list? And then gauge our worthiness on its completion. Practice making purposeful shifts toward self kindness by saying to yourself as you finish one task and then, okay, never mind. I don't chain myself to a to do list. But I have to admit that I very often go to bed thinking that I wasn't productive enough. I haven't done enough and I just wasted another day of my life. So, yeah, definitely be less judgmental. Number 9, know that you are not your genes. Wow, what a stupid thing to say. I would like to see the author of this article say that, like looking in the eyes of a person who has some very serious genetic disease and say, "You're not your genes," and just being slapped in the face. Well, I'm sorry, I've been wasting yours and my time reading this article, but spring cleaning, that's a tough job. Number 10, apologize with self-respect. This sounds interesting. Let's have a look. Saying I'm sorry is seldom pleasant or easy to do. So if you're going to do it at all, make it count. Well, yeah, I agree. An important part of apologizing is learning not to make excuses, because that's just disrespectful to the other person and to your integrity. Well, absolutely. And I have noticed even myself that we downplay our, let's call it, fault to make it easier, without getting into a philosophical debate about free will. So we downplay our fault and we sort of take responsibility with one hand and just throw it away with the other. And I agree. This is a good point. If you're going to do it at all, make it count. As I'm thinking about it, I wonder. I'm not sure if I have ever apologized from the bottom of my heart for like a serious mistake or fault. I don't mean, like things like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late," or "I'm sorry, I forgot about something trivial," but because it's really difficult. It's like you have to admit that you did something wrong or stupid, and it fucking hurts your ego as fuck, and we will like invent a whole new narrative. I have something very specific in mind right now. Someone who I would say owes me an apology. I don't care about it anymore, but I think an apology was suitable, would have been very adequate, and that person just invented like a whole new narrative about this event, about our interaction. And I get it. I mean, I understand it. I have, without going into many details, I have heard probably a few people. If we remain in the sphere of romantic relationships, I have heard a few people probably, and I would like, an apology would have been adequate. But I never offered one because I was too ashamed, I suppose, or I downplayed it. Maybe not even ashamed, because to be ashamed you have to be aware. I just downplayed it. I even, sort of denied it, forgot it, repressed it, put it aside, and like it doesn't, like moving on. It's easy, absolutely easier to move on when it is you doing the hurting and breaking up or leaving someone, or doing something like that. Usually it's not a big deal. Sometimes it may be, but usually you just move on and forget about it, whereas the other person may suffer for a very long time. But then again, on the other side, I don't know if an apology would diminish that suffering. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe not. I don't know. To be honest, like for me at this point, thinking about that particular interaction, let's call it like this, it wasn't really a relationship. I totally don't care. An apology would, the only thing it would do would make me, I would have a little bit of respect for this person. I kind of lost it, and I would regain it, or they would regain it. But what's the purpose, that we don't interact, and they can have whatever narrative in their head, and perhaps they don't suffer any sort of sense of guilt or shame about it. So, yeah, I went off on a tangent. I had lied. I'm sorry. Number 11, be willing to accept reality. Another good point. Let's read it together. You must be willing to see things and people as they are. It can be painful to acknowledge that there is a problem with ourselves, our loved ones, or a situation. But if you don't deal with the problem with curiosity and courteousness, your situation will be prolonged. And that is not very respectful of your time and energy. Yeah, I agree. And another very, sometimes, yeah, difficult. It's like apologizing. In order to apologize, you need to see and accept reality. So this one really embraces a lot of points that have been made so far. And that's what I've been so much set recently on seeing the reality. Even this spring cleaning is maybe part of it. It's hard. It is hard because we have so many expectations. I say we, I guess I should say I have so many expectations, such high standards towards life, towards myself, and it's so not helpful, and I can't get rid of them. And I'm not sure, like getting rid of your standards doesn't seem like the best idea either. It's standards that basically stand behind our choices and even values. So I don't want to get rid of my standards. Even the idea of lowering them doesn't seem right. But then on the other hand, if I maintain in my imagination, fantasy, wherever they exist, the ideas exist, if I maintain those standards and those expectations, I will just keep suffering. So, yeah, let's move on to the next point. Number 12. Write love notes to your body. Yeah. So this looks like one of those just stupid ideas that, who knows, maybe they are good. But I will never do that. All right, we made it. Our next tab is Google search our appointment with life, the Buddha's teaching on living in the present. I would like to stop here for a second in this present moment and just think about how this concept of living in the present, most of people who heard about it know what is meant by it, but if you give it like half a minute, you realize that the present is the only moment, time, where we can live. And so it's not about living so much living in the present, which obviously we do, and it's the only way we can live, but it's about attention. And I think, it's time that authors of these books and talks started using a different phrasing, because it's confusing. I think it's important to explain and to draw attention to draw attention to our ability to focus and pay attention to anything. And it can be present moment, it can be sensations coming from inside our body, but we can also pay attention to our surroundings, immediate surroundings, and then in the end we can pay attention to just anything else. And it's a choice. Is it a free choice? Well, that's another story for another tab. Okay, next. Podcast Italiano. But I don't know what it is. Okay. Parole difficili. Mettiti alla prova. Questo è interessante. But yeah, let's close that one. So when I close a tab, I go back to this tab with the book We Are All Weird. And I will talk about it later. But now, we have another Google search on l'arte di vedere le cose intorno a noi. I'm not sure why I did this search in Italian, because this book is written originally in English by Rob Walker. And I think I would like to read this book. Damn it. I just looked up the short description. Let me read it to you. It sounds really interesting. Like the subtitle is, I found two different subtitles. One is Rediscover What Really Matters to You. And another one is 131 Ways to Spark Creativity, Find Inspiration, and Discover Joy in the Everyday. And here is the short description. Enter Rob Walker's The Art of Noticing. This gorgeously illustrated volume will spark your creativity and, most importantly, help you see the world anew. Through a series of simple and playful exercises, 131 of them, Walker maps ways for you to become a clearer thinker, a better listener, a more creative workplace colleague, and finally, to rediscover your sense of passion and to notice what really matters to you. Yeah, maybe I would like to do those exercises, or maybe I would hate them. Who knows? I will put this book on my wish list, maybe on Kindle. Yeah, and let's close this tab. All right, so what is next? Bold and italic. Oh, I know what it is. This is a website. It's not showing properly. It didn't open properly, but here you can type in Word or whatever it is and paste it. I think I used it to have something in bold or in italics, in bold italics, on Facebook maybe, or somewhere, because I was trying to make a statement like it matters. Oh gosh. Next tab. 300 parole da dire in italiano, la lista definitiva. And what is this? Oh, so this is a list of 300 Anglicisms that have been borrowed into Italian and that are used in everyday dialogues by Italians. And yes, I have noticed that Italians, it's not just everyday colloquial dialogues, but even there are Anglicisms on television, in politics. It's crazy. So let's have a look at them. Abstract, riassunto, sintesi, advanced, avanzato, progredito, evoluto, sviluppato, d'avanguardia, aftershave, dopo barba, ovviamente, alert, allarme, all inclusive, tutto compreso, appeal, attrazione, ASAP, as soon as possible, al più presto, prima possibile, asset, beni, risorse, attachment, allegato, audience, pubblico, audit, revisione, controllo, ispezione, verifica, accertamento, austerity, austerità, authority, autorità, award, premio, background, retroterra, sfondo, contesto, antefatto. This is the word that I often look for. What is it? Sfondo, retroterra, anche questo, retroterra. Backstage, dietro le quinte, badge, tesserino distintivo, band, gruppo musicale, complesso, benchmark, punto di riferimento, pietra di paragone, confronto, indicatore, benefit, vantaggio, indennità, beneficio, gratifica. Best practices, buone pratiche, buone prassi. Big, grande, grosso. Bipartisan, bilaterale, bipartitico, condiviso da maggioranza e minoranza. Blend, miscela, o miscela forse, miscela. I'm not sure about the stress in this word. Body copy. What is body copy? Testo pubblicitario. Bodyguard, guardia del corpo. Bond, obbligazione. Boss, capo. Brand, marca. Brand awareness, conoscenza della marca. Break, pausa. Break even, pareggio di bilancio. Budget, bilancio, previsione di spesa, stanziamento. Building, palazzo, edificio. Business, core business, affari, attività principale. Business administration, gestione aziendale. Business card, biglietto da vista. Buyer, compratore. Cameraman, operatore. Card, credit card, carta, tesserino, figurina, carta di credito, cartoon, cartoni animati, case history, caso esemplare, cartella clinica, anamnesi, anamnesi. Again, I don't know the stress of this word, where the accent falls. Cash, contanti, pronta cassa. Cash flow, flusso monetario, flusso di cassa, liquidità. Catering, servizio di ristorazione. Center, centro. Cheap, economico, a buon mercato. Dozzinale, scadente. I've never heard the word dozzinale. Checklist, controllo, lista di controllo. Check-up, visita di controllo. Chewing gum, gomma da masticare. Class action, azione collettiva. Clown, pagliaccio, pagliaccio. Coach, allenatore, istruttore, insegnante. Coffee break, pausa caffè. Columnist, editorialista. Comfort, agio, comodità. Coming out, scoprirsi, dichiararsi, dichiarare la propria omosessualità. Ma perché omosessualità e non altra sessualità? Ok, it doesn't matter. Scoprirsi, dichiararsi. Interessante. I don't think anyone uses these words for coming out because it's the language of the youth. Commitment, impegno, dedizione, responsabilità. Community, comunità. Competitor, competition. Concorrente, concorrenza. Compilation, collezione, raccolta, antologia, selezione. Concept, idea, concetto, nucleo concettuale. Contest, concorso, gara, competizione. Convention, convegno, conferenza, assemblea, congresso, simposio. Wow, che che ricchezza, volevo dire. Copyright, diritto d'autore, e questa è una frase che cerco spesso e non so come dirlo. So, to memorize it, copyright, diritto d'autore, diritto d'autore. Corner, angolo, spazio. Counseling, assistenza, terapia, orientamento, consulenza. Counseling service, servizio di assistenza, consultorio. Coupon, buono. Cedola, tagliando. Never heard this one. Cover, copertina, custodia. Rifacimento, reinterpretazione. Ok, this is the music. Yeah, the music cover. Rifacimento, reinterpretazione. I like this one. Ho fatto una reinterpretazione. Crew, squadra, gruppo, equipaggio. Customer care, assistenza clienti. Customer satisfaction, soddisfazione dei clienti. Day by day, giorno per giorno. Deadline, scadenza. Deal, accordo, affare, trattativa. Default, andare in default. Strange combination. Fallire, andare in bancarotta. Default, impostazioni predefinite. Oh yeah, this one. Deregulation, deregolamentazione. That's a long word. Deregolamentazione. Almost. Developer, sviluppatore, device. congegno, dispositivo, display, schermo, visore, downgrading, retrocessione, download, scaricare, dress code, regole d'abbigliamento, dry, secco, eco-friendly. Oh, Jesus, I read it in Italian. Eco-friendly. Ecologico. Editing, editor, revisione, correzione, redattore. Empowerment, rafforzamento, valorizzazione, attribuzione di potere. I like this one. Attribuzione di potere. Endorsement, appoggio, sostegno, approvazione. Engagement, coinvolgimento. But not, I think coinvolgimento has nothing to do with engagement, as when there is this engagement ring, or they didn't look into this meaning of the word engagement. Enter, invio. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but I think it's invio. Escalation, incremento, intensificazione, inasprimento. Escort, sorry. No, I read it correctly because it's accompagnatrice, prostituta. So it's escort. Evergreen, classico, intramontabile. Wow, I've never heard this one. Intramontabile. Executive, chief executive. Dirigente, funzionario responsabile, amministratore delegato. Exit poll, sondaggio tra i volanti, sondaggio sul voto. Export, esportazioni, fact-checking, verifica dei fatti, fair play, correttezza, lealtà, gioco leale. Fake, falso, imitazione, bufala. Fan, tifoso, sostenitore, appassionato, ammiratore, fanatico. Fashion, moda. Feature, caratteristica, funzione, funzionalità. Feedback, commento, opinione, risposta, riscontro. Tecnico, retroazione. Feeling, sentimento, sensibilità, coinvolgimento, presentimento o presentimento, perhaps. Field, campo. Fine tuning, messa a punto. Finger food, street food. I've never heard the expression finger food. Stuzzichini, cibo da strada. Fitness, forma fisica. Flop, fiasco, insuccesso, fallimento. Flyer, volantino. Food, junk food. Cibo, alimento, cibo spazzatura. Porcherie o porcherie. Cavolo, porcherie. I think it sounds good. Font, carattere tipografico. Forecast, previsione, stima. Form, modulo, scheda, formulario. Full time, a tempo pieno. Gang, banda. Cricca. Gangster, criminale, malvivente. Gap, lacuna, divario, scarto, distanza. Gender, genere. Ginger, zenzero, gossip. Pettegolezzo. I can't memorize this word. Guideline, linee guida. Hall, atrio, ingresso, salone d'ingresso. Happy ending, lieto fine, Headline, titolo, homemade, artigianale, fatto in casa. Casereccio. Casereccio, I've heard this word like so many times and I didn't know what it means. Casereccio, homemade. Hot, caldo, bollente. Hotel, albergo. Human resources, risorse umane. Import, importazioni. Input, contributo, suggerimento, apporto, immissione, spunto. Intelligence, spionaggio? Ah, ok, this intelligence, ok. Jobs Act, legge sul lavoro, exactly. God damn it. Kick-off meeting. Inizio, principio, lancio, riunione iniziale, preliminare. Killer, assassino, omicida, sicario. Never heard this one. Kit, corredo, equipaggiamento, attrezzatura. Know-how, conoscenza, sapere, competenza. KO, knockout, fuori combattimento. Leader, capo, guida, capo carismatico, presidente. Leaflet, volantino, pieghevole. Light, leggero. Like su Facebook, mi piace. Lip gloss, lucida labbra. Live, dal vivo, in tempo reale. Load, overload, carico. Caricare, ricarica, sovraccarico. Location, posto, luogo, sede. Look, aspetto, stile, immagine. Low cost, economico, a basso prezzo. Low profile, sottotono, dimesso, discreto. Lunch, quick lunch. Pranzo veloce. Mail, email. Posta, corrispondenza, messaggio, posta elettronica. Mainstream, dominante, prevalente, tradizionale, generalista. Maintenance, manutenzione, make-up, trucco. Marketplace, mercato. Markup, commissione, ricarico. Master, specializzazione, post lauream. Match, partita. Gara, combattimento, competizione, incontro. Meeting, riunione, incontro. Convegno, assemblea. Merchandising, promozione, attività promozionale, attività promozionale. Mission, missione. Mixer, frullatore. Mood, umore, stato d'animo. Disposizione, spirito. Must, imprescindibile, irrinunciabile, imperdibile. Imprescindibile, irrinunciabile, imperdibile. Network, rete, canali televisivi, sistema. News, notizie, novità, notiziario. Aggiornamenti. Nickname, pseudonimo. Nomination, candidatura, designazione. Off, spento, disattivato. Off limits, proibito, vietato, non autorizzato. Offshore, finanziario. All'estero, barche d'altura. Ok, va bene, d'accordo, tutto a posto. Approvo, ci sto. Approvo, I like this one. Approvo. On, acceso, attivato, in funzione. On air, in onda. Online, in linea. Open, aperto. Outfit, completo, insieme, tenuta. Soluzione d'abbigliamento. It's like clothing solution. I like this one. Soluzione d'abbigliamento. Ho trovato una soluzione per stasera. Outing. Svelare l'omosessualità again. Altrui. What does it mean? Okay, anyway. Outlet. Spaccio aziendale. Outsourcing. Delocalizzazione. Esternalizzazione. Oversize. Yeah. Enorme, fuori misura, troppo grande. Packaging, confezione, imballo, confezionamento. Panel, gruppo, comitato, giuria, commissione. Parking, parcheggio. Paper. Universitario, università, articolo, saggio. Part-time, a tempo parziale. Partner, socio, compagno, collega. Partnership, alleanza, collaborazione, associazione, accordo. Oh, I have some very nice association with the word collaborazione. I like this word. Party, festa, ricevimento. Pattern, schema, disegno, struttura, composizione. Pendrive, chiavetta. Performance, prestazione, rendimento, esibizione artistica. Player, protagonista, competitore, attore, partecipante. Plot, trama. I can never remember this word. Trama. Intreccio, tracciato. Policy, regole, criteri, norme, abitudini. Politically correct, politicamente corretto. Poster, manifesto. Power, potenza, forza, energia, carica, potere, facoltà. Premier, primo ministro, capo del governo, presidente del consiglio. Preview, anteprima, anticipazione. Press release, comunicato stampa. Problem solving, risoluzione dei problemi. Prospect, cliente potenziale. Public relations, relazioni pubbliche. Random, casuale, a caso. Rating, classifica. Reception, ricezione, accoglienza, ricevimento, accettazione. Record, primato, I think it's this meaning. Red carpet, tappeto rosso, tappeto rosso. Refill, ricarica, ricambio, cartuccia. Refrain, ritornello. Refresh, aggiornamento. Relax, riposo, svago. Remake, riedizione, rifacimento. Report, resoconto, verbale, rapporto, relazione. Review, revisione, esame, controllo. Revival, ritorno, risveglio, riscoperta. Room service, servizio in camera. Rumor, pettegolezzi, voci, chiacchiere. Safety, sicurezza. Sandwich, panino, tramezzino. Scoop, notizia sensazionale, colpo giornalistico. Self-control, autocontrollo. Selfie, autoscatto. Sequel, continuazione, seguito. Prosecuzione. Serial, serie televisiva. Seriale, come aggettivo. Sexy, seducente, erotico. Share, market share. Quota, quota di mercato. Sharing, condivisione. Shock, trauma, scossa, sconvolgimento, colpo. shopping, compere, acquisti, show, spettacolo, showdown, resa dei conti, confronto finale, scontro, chiarimento, showgirl, showman, donna, uomo di spettacolo, showroom, esposizione, sala d'esposizione, skill, skilled, capacità, competenza, abilità, capace, competente, size, taglia, small, medium, large size, taglia piccola, media, grande, smart, intelligente, brillante, sveglio, acuto, snack, merenda, spuntino, snob, altezzoso, sostenuto, arrogante. I think these are adjectives. And snob could be an adjective, but it's more like a noun. Altezzoso, I guess dall'altezza. Sostenuto. Soft, morbido, soffice, molle, debole, tenero, tenue. Speaker, relatore a una conferenza. Annunciatore, relatore. E questa è la parola che cerco spessissimo. Relatore. Speech, discorso. Spending review, revisione, taglio della spesa. Sponsor, finanziatore, sostenitore, patrono. Spread, finanza, scarto, divario. Sprint, scatto, volata, accelerazione, allungo. Staff, personale, impiegati, dipendenti, funzionari. Stalking, persecuzione, molestie. Stand, chiosco, postazione fieristica, spazio, padiglione. Stand by, attesa, pausa. Stakeholder, portatori di interessi, attori coinvolti. Step, step by step, passo, passaggio, a poco, un passo alla volta. Store, negozio, punto vendita. Storytelling, narrazione, racconto. Strategic planning, pianificazione strategica. Stress, stress test. Tensione, pressione, sforzo, prova sotto sforzo. Sticker, etichetta, adesiva, adesivo. Surplus, eccedenza. Sugar free, senza zucchero. Supervisor, supervisore, direttore, ispettore, responsabile. Target, obiettivo, bersaglio, scopo, traguardo, meta. Target group, gruppo di riferimento, pubblico obiettivo, consumatori. Task force, squadra speciale, unità di crisi. Team, squadra, gruppo, teamwork, lavoro di gruppo. Teenager, adolescente, test, prova, esame, collaudo, verifica. Texture, testura. Trama, consistenza. Ticket, biglietto, scontrino, tagliando, buono, multa. Tilt, ok, tilt anyway, blocco, guasto, sovraccarico, perdita di controllo. Tool, attrezzo, strumento. Utensile, arnese. Top, il massimo, il meglio, il vertice. Trailer, presentazione, anticipazione, prossimamente. Trainer, allenatore, addestratore, istruttore. Trend, tendenza. Turnover, rotazione, avvicendamento, ricambio. Tutor, insegnante, docente, tutore, guida, upgrading, avanzamento, miglioramento, promozione, estensione, upload, caricare, up to date, aggiornato, attuale, recente, ultimo, user friendly, facile da usare, intuitivo, semplificato, amichevole, vending machine, distributore automatico, vision, visione, voucher, buono, ricevuta, tagliando, giustificativo, waiting list, lista d'attesa, waterproof, impermeabile, web, rete, weekend, fine settimana, welfare, assistenza sociale, stato sociale, politiche sociali, wellness, benessere, wireless, senza fili, wishful thinking, speranza infondata, pia illusione, pio desiderio, workshop, laboratorio, seminario, workstation, posto di lavoro. Wow! Oh God! I read them all and now I can close this tab. Yoo-hoo! Great. I think I will have to finish here and go to sleep. And I will have to do my spring cleaning in parts. I don't know how many. I've done about, 6, 7 tabs in this episode. And there are probably about, 50 more to go. So there's a lot of fun ahead of us. Can you hear the enthusiasm in my voice? Okay, so stay well and have a good weekend, evening, day, night. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.